Public. Wait. Dan. On. Live chat. Of course. Save. Ja, wat ga ik nou doen, hè? Hey dudes, how are you? Are you hearing my audio? That's probably the first question I should ask. And let's see if I can look at my chat via my phone. Yay! Okay, we have 30 people already on a totally unplanned live session of the moon. That's great. Yeah, guys, I just set up my telescope and I noticed there were some hazy clouds, so it's not a really good night to do deep sky imaging. So I just aimed my telescope at the moon and I thought, let's have a chat together. And this is, of course, totally unplanned. And this is probably also the way it is right now for Astoforum. Whenever I have a clear night or whenever I feel like it, I will flip on the live chat and live screen. I hope you will like it. Please ask me anything you want to ask. We're starting at the moon and who knows where we go after this one. Let's see, who do we have? We have Astropod. Astropod, hello, have a nice evening. You too, Hogarth in the house. We have Ron Red Dob and he says the audio is good. This is actually the Yeti microphone. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Andy Smolensky says yes in regards to the audio, I think, and Graham is also here. And we have, of course, the suburban astronomer. Greetings from New York, USA. But New York is like the biggest city, right? So how can you be a suburban astronomer? Oh, you're referring to the state, I'm sorry. Stupid European guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And we have Chris, I think, Chris from Gastro Photos. Hey, Wido, I caught you live, finally. Sun's still out here in Oregon, yes, Chris, and this is how we can prove that the Earth is actually round. Because in Europe it is here, it's 10 before, it's 20 past 10. So, yeah, and obviously it's evening and I can see the moon. And we have, I think, a nice half moon. Hello from Canada. Hello from Canada, hello. Bonsoir. You have French and English, right, in Canada. And suburban New York, and New York is a state. Yes, thank you for enlightening me. A simple guy from a light polluted city in the Netherlands. And we have Perry also from Rochester, New York. Hello, Perry. Guys, like I said before, or maybe also girls, I didn't plan this meeting. So ask me anything you want to ask. I'm going to look at some views of the moon. I probably should mention this is the HD telescope I have set up, the 8-inch. So we have an aperture of 200 millimeters. The focal length is only 1440 millimeters. And that is because I was a little bit lazy. I still have the, how do you call that? the reducer, the 0.7 reducer attached to my Celestron Edge HD, because in general it's very good. If you use the reducer together with the Celestron Edge HD, you get an f ratio of f7, which is of course excellent for deep sky astrophotography, or excellent. It is a good f ratio. But anyway, we are in galaxy season, so we only have pretty bright objects to image anyway. And I'm using, of course, still the ASI 1600 Mono Pro. It's a die-hard camera I'm always using for deep sky, actually. But now it is aimed at the moon, so we are only going to see black and white pictures. But I don't know, it's okay. The moon in black and white is very nice. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's zoom in. Wow, where are we? Maybe zoom out. I was actually planning on using a moon atlas now, so that I can actually see where I am. Wait. So in the meanwhile, we have 28 people. There are some extra people here in the house. No, I'm Anthony. Sorry, I Gastro Photos. I called you Chris, so you are Anthony. Perry is from Rochester. I said it before. Hi, love from India. This is Smurf Up. The Smurfs we had. That's always we had as a little kid. I watched the Smurfs actually. Do you have this also in your country? These little people. Hello from West Berkshire, UK. Hello, Astro PG, and we have Elliot. Also from Rochester, New York. Okay, I will look it up. And we also have Astro Rerum from Leiden, my home country, actually. Sharing your sky from Leiden. Yeah, Leiden is a pretty big city in the Netherlands. This is a town where you can, with a university. It has a very nice history. We also have Leeuwarden. And we are always jealous at people from Leeuwarden, the Netherlands, because they have some pretty dark skies in Friesland, the region north of Utrecht. Hogart said, are you using, the first question, are you using an ADC of any kind for the moon? The ADC, analog to digital converter, you mean? Or, actually, this is just the 1600 Mono Pro. I think right now I have the light pollution filter on, or it is Lume or LPS light pollution filter. So usually I have the IDAS 2, I think. It's a long time ago. I checked my filters actually. We have Lawrence from the west coast of France. Bonsoir, Laurent. And we have Suburban. Ask you anything about astronomy or really anything? You can ask me anything, but I won't answer anything. I guess that would be the answer. I can't wait to get this scope. Unfortunately, nowhere available to buy. Yes, Astro PG, it is terrible. It's terrible. I looked at some delivery times and it is, sometimes months away. Actually, maybe totally unrelated, we are bicycling a lot in the Netherlands, so I was looking for a new racing bike, and there were still 2 bikes available, and the rest was on back order. I had to wait for, I think, 3 or 4 months before I could buy this bike, and it's a lot the same in all of the astrophotography shops, I guess also in the USA, although some of the bigger shops, they still have some stock. So I know that OPT has some stock, and probably also High Point Scientific in the USA, and we have in Europe, we have Astro Shop and the German shops. Astro Shop, Telescope Service, of course, and in the Netherlands we have Robtics. Anyway, what kind of crater are we looking at? I want to know. Sorry, I will leave the chat because I'm going to check my mobile phone. And finally, I want to give you some information on the moon. And probably you are more versed in what we are seeing here than I am. But I just want to learn what I'm looking at. Okay. So probably... what's this? So this is actually Archimedes crater. This is Archimedes, Aristillus, and Autolycus. How good is your Latin, actually? I had 1 year of Latin, but I lost most of my fluency here. And we are looking here at a mountain range. This is called Montes Apenninus. So I guess they are called after the Apennines in Italy, right? And here we have, this is Marco Polo Mare. Okay. Interesting. And this is the final one, is the Eratosthenes crater. So we could actually then check, for instance, Archimedes. Sorry, I'm a little bit nerdy here. Oh wait, you can better use this. Archimedes crater. How big is it? Oh, its diameter is 81 kilometers. Oh, and of course we have people from the US. It's like 1 times 1.5, so about 60 miles, I guess. And the depth is 2 kilometers. Pretty awesome, actually. So 80. This biggest crater here, the Archimedes crater, this is already 81 kilometers. So you get a little bit of sense of the scale we are looking at. Anyway, let's go back to the chat. Hello from Michigan, and we have Portugal, Kansas. Good evening. Yes, the Smurfs are real. Thank you, Anthony. They're everywhere. Yeah, maybe in the whole world. Hello from Russia. Hello. I can't pronounce your name because I cannot read your name. It's Cyrillic, right? But hello there. I mean atmospheric dispersion. Aha. Yeah, I don't have any ADC at the moment, Hoogart. I'm so happy I managed to get an animation of C2020 R4 last weekend. Buku. Yeah, this is a comet, right? So, yeah, we can check it out, actually. I'm always using the Sky Live for this one. The Sky... Now, you can already see I'm all over the place. Sky Live. I'm always interested in catching comets. So, if you go to that website and you just look at catching comets, the comets website here, it's indeed in the constellation Hercules. And the observed magnitude of 9.5. So yeah, if you have maybe an 8-inch telescope, something like that, with that kind of aperture, you probably can catch it, yes. So good job, Buku, in capturing that comet there. Ferre is also in the house. Good evening. Hoogart said ADC reducers the shimmer and the rippling. Yeah, that's probably very useful. Hello from North Carolina, USA, the hiker dad. Yeah, I would like to go on a hike, actually. Especially in these lockdown times. Suburban Astronomer says, I'm a cyclist too. I'm glad I'm not in the market for a bike right now. Yes, Suburban Astronomer. I'm looking at like a second-hand marketplace in the Netherlands. I saw there's still some shady deals to be made. And I can lend a racing bike from my father-in-law, but he's actually 20 centimeters shorter than I am. So, and his frame size is terrible. I don't think I will do it because I will only get back aches. Astro Rayram says you should be on the Apennine Mountains. Yeah. Astro Rayram, as soon as the ban is lifted, I'm going on a holiday. You're looking at the Montes Apenninus. Yes, that's right. I just looked it up. The Italian central mountain chain. And Saviol's astrophotography. Oh, he corrects it to Apenninus. Is it like Apenninus or Apenninus or Apenninus? I can do a kilometer to miles conversion thanks to cycling. Still working on my Celsius to Fahrenheit conversions. Yes. Greeting from Texas, Rick Flop Dub. Hello, Rick. And we have Alan Hancock from the UK. It's raining meteors here in India. Can't wait for Peter. Is it actually a meteor night? I should prepare these kind of live streams. Is that here somewhere? Yeah, not really. Maybe night guide. Oh. Not really. Okay, so perhaps there is a meteor shower. Please inform me if that is the case. I nearly waked my whole neighborhood when I saw a fuzzy dot. Yeah, Vuku. Sometimes the first time I caught a comet, it was last year. It was Comet Atlas. I think it's Y1 or Y4. It was so amazing to see that comet. We have Astro Carpets in the house. Hey Wido, long time no talk. Yeah, but we can talk now, Astro Carpets. So nice to see you again. Let's move a little bit across the moon here. Can we go a bit down? So, ask me anything you would like. And what is this here? So this is also pretty beautiful, I think. So yeah, the low end of the moon. I think half moon is pretty beautiful because you can still see the shades in all of the craters. You cannot see it when it is a full moon. Handcrafted says, how come you get such good weather in your area? I live a few hundred kilometers from your city and I didn't have such nice weather. Yeah, actually, Handcrafted, I don't know. We can actually check out the weather. I don't think it's perfect. It's like we have a cloud radar in the Netherlands, Wolkenradar. And let's see what's happening here. So you can actually see this is far from perfect here in the Netherlands. We do have some hazy clouds. I'm here in the center. So, and this is actually going on for the past few days. So it looks pretty bright, it looks pretty clear, but when I'm taking long exposure pictures, I really can see these high clouds in the sky. I can really see them in the pictures as well. So I thought like I might as well do a live stream. And what I'm always using is like if I type in astronomical seeing, and you can just add your city. It's the Meteo Blue site. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I'm often using this. Oh, you see, we have now like 1 or 2 hours of clear skies, actually. And this is actually the best I can get in the Netherlands. From my city at least. So you can see that in the Netherlands you still have an arc second of about 1.32. So we never have this very good like turbulence free skies. We always have something like 1.1, 1.3, 1.4. But the seeing is pretty good. This is actually exceptionally good for the Netherlands. Maybe I should switch to deep sky imaging. But I can only do it until 11, because you can see here the clouds will roll in again. At least it's expected to roll in again, and then we have some bad skies. Let's see. Lyrid meteor showers tonight. Okay, really? So that's a big mistake. I should have checked that, and then I also should have put my regular camera up. That's also, and just aim it for, I can actually, that's what I was thinking about. I wanted to piggyback my regular DSLR camera on the Celestron. I'm using the Celestron Edge HD UUV. Celestron Edge HD, and I was thinking about using my DSLR to just put it on the Edge HD. And then I could aim it, for instance, at a meteor shower, and then just take a time-lapse video. Would be nice, but I didn't do it. So maybe still after this live stream, I can go up my terrace and try to do it. All right. It says oh, Juju Bean says an extended back order. It will come in 6 months. Yeah, I'm sorry for you. I'm feeling your pain, Juju Bean. Astro Carpet says, Wido, I switched to mono. I might be in your DMs for a while. Oh, yeah. Astro Carpets. I had a lot. We had some back and forths. Astro Carpets when you first looked for, I think, your first deep sky camera, and you were looking for a color camera. I remember some of the DMs you sent me, and it was a lot of fun. And I hope you got something out of it. And I think you got something out of it because I looked at your pictures and they are awesome. So Astro Carpets, he is on Instagram, if I'm correct, right? So check if you type in Astro Carpets, you can see his pictures. This Salt 70, thinking strongly about buying a telescope Photoline 80mm triplet. Ah, that's my telescope. After watching and reading your recommendations. Yeah, great. What are your thoughts on a mount? My thoughts on a mount, yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on mounts, and it depends also on the telescope you are going to buy. So if you're only, if you know that you're going to start out with an APO refractor, of course they are pretty lightweight and you don't need to spend a lot. Yeah, of course mounts are always expensive, and astrophotography in general, it is a very expensive hobby. It's a money pit. Yeah, you can do some DSLR astrophotography, but it gets expensive real soon when you want to get good tracking and when you want to buy a mount, because yeah, I would say for the apochromatic refractors, yeah, you can buy something like a Skywatcher Hack 5 Pro or a Celestron AVX, but there are a lot of new kits on the block when you look at these beginner level mounts that can actually support like up to 5 to 10 kilograms. So you can also look at the Ioptron mounts right now. I think it's the Gem 45. I'm doing this out of the top of my head here. The SAM 40 or this. There are two new mounts. I will Google it. I was actually pretty interested in looking at their performance. The Gem 28, I guess. This one, yeah, it's also $1,000 already. Okay. Yeah, but I would say the Gem 28 from Ioptron is a pretty new mount. It's a regular German equatorial mount, and yeah, it has also periodic error control, and it's an equatorial mount, of course. And yeah, it has a lot of new. You can also remotely control that mount and everything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some reviews on the Gem 28. And of course, the Celestron Advanced VX is really a mount that has been on the block for a lot of years. We have the Hack 5 Pro, and I think the counterpart it's made in the same factory. The Orion Sirius mount, I think. So, okay, alright, I'll check that out. Oh, Astro Carpets is gone by Astro Carpets. So, Mr. Tibbets is getting us a Newtonian PDS telescope with an EQ5 tomorrow. Wow, that's nice. I hope you will have a good time, Mr. Tibbers. And we have the Crypto Alchemist 2 times 5 kilograms weights. Fell off the telescope last night and landed on my foot. I hope you didn't break any toes there, Crypto Alchemist. And we have the Garnet Leary. Hola, hola, buenas noches. Astro Carp says, see you. No, I'm here. Okay. My foot is okay, but I scratched all the white paint. Ah, okay, but the paint is not so. from an aesthetic point of view, it's not so important because you're shooting at night anyway, so people won't notice the paint being not there. Astoforum says, I'm very close to buying a TS70 apochromatic triplet to use with my Star Adventurer and DSLR. I should be okay with weight. What do you think? Yes, Astoforum. I'm not sure what kind of mount are you referring to then? Because in terms of weight, you should then look at, I think, a beginner level mount like that can support up to 10 kilograms or 22 pounds in the US is perfect to match with an APO refractor up to like 100 millimeters of aperture, and maybe you have an f6 or an f7 refractor. That's fine. But maybe if you want to peer a little bit into the future, maybe at some point you also want to buy like maybe a bigger refractor, like the Explorer Scientific 127 or the Edge HD, and then you want to look at a little bit, I would say mounts that can carry a little bit more weight, like the mount I'm using right now. This is the EQ6R Pro still. For those of you who have followed me on my channel, I think you know my setup, right? And I think in October I finally got the Edge HD 8-inch. I have been using that for about 6 months, so that's one thing I wanted to say actually. So I will make a list next time on what I want to say. I will release, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 days, one video in which I will show you like a review of the Edge HD. And I know I did one review before on my website, but now I want to show you all of the pictures and all of the things I was able to capture with the Edge HD for the past 6 months, and also do some review on like ease of use obviously, but also I wanted to show you if it is worthwhile to get like the Edge HD with a longer focal length. Obviously it's also more expensive as compared to like a shorter focal length refractor. So I just wanted to show you like the main differences. I shot some pictures with my apochromatic refractor, and something flew past the moon. I hope I didn't miss the ISS. That's also always my biggest fear, that I miss a transition of the ISS. I never caught one before. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I just wanted to show you like ease of use, also the differences you get when you have a bigger aperture and a longer focal length, so you can decide for yourself whether or not it is actually useful to get a telescope with a longer focal length and a bigger aperture for, of course, obviously a little bit more money than an APO refractor that is most of the time up to 100 millimeters or 80 or 90, sometimes a bit less. Anyway, I'm babbling here. We have Astrocarpus is still here. Okay. Wido, do you get any vignetting with the ASI 1600 Mono Pro with the 1.25 inch filters? My answer would be almost nothing, Astrocarpets. I get a very, if this would be my screen, can you see my cursor? I hope so. Then this would be maybe the vignetting here, all the way to the top. So I don't experience any issues with that. And I think the main reason is that the sensor on the ASI 1600 Mono Pro is only about 6.5 millimeters from the edge of the camera. So it's very close to the I'm losing my English. Very close to the top of the camera. And when you if you have a ZWO filter wheel, you can just turn that on you can screw it directly on your filter wheel. So you have to take off the cap that comes with the ASI 1600 Mono Pro. And then you have this threading, and you can thread it directly bolt it onto your camera. Now not bolt, you actually have to turn it, anyway, there are threads. And then they are positioned directly, the 1.25 inch filter is directly in front of your sensor. And this is how I image, and I never have any issues. And particularly also because when you are imaging multiple targets, when you are taking multiple pictures of one target, obviously you're going to do some dithering, and you will have a little bit of difference in the framing also when you're going to shoot something across multiple nights, and then you're cropping your picture a little bit anyway. Huh? So even when you do have a little bit of vignetting, you can crop your picture and then you're fine. So that's a very long-winded answer to the question of Astro Carpets. But we are online friends, right? Astro Carpets. I think that was the ISS. Oh my god. Probably it was. Probably it was the ISS. Knowing me, that's the stuff that happens to me. Suburban Astronomer has an ISS transfer coming up on Sunday. Good luck with that, Suburban Astronomer. Are you going to catch it? Oh, but I think it's going to be cloudy. That's most of the time. I did build up my rig like in the afternoon. I know it was a daytime transfer, but I was desperate to get a transfer. But then it was too cloudy. It was like, especially, I could see the moon, but then in the 5 minutes window when the ISS was passing the moon, it was cloudy. And then after that, 5 minutes, of course, it cleared up again. That's astrophotography for you. Hogarth says, no ISS passes over Europe tonight. It's only leaving Far East Asia. Yeah, we can, of course, check it out. If you just Google ISS transfer, I'm sure you already know that. So for the 2 persons who are not familiar with it, so if you just Google ISS transfer, you can click here, Transit Finder. It can auto detect your longitude and latitude, and then I think you can just, and then you can calculate 80 kilometers. Whatever, 80. I'm willing to travel a little bit to get that transfer. So, doesn't show. So this is, ISS in front of the sun. It also has that. I don't have a solar scope yet, actually. The sun. This is the moon here. So the 1st of May would be my first opportunity. But it's a close pass. You can see it here, lunar close pass on the end. We have here on the 4th of May. That's a very special day in the Netherlands. We remember our war heroes. But this is like a daytime transfer, I guess. 9:12, so it's in the morning. Anyway, you can. This is of course not very interesting for you, but you can just use this, like the transitfinder.com, and just auto detect your the city where you live, or you can select it from a map, if I'm seeing this correctly. And you will get this information when the International Space Station transfers either the sun or the moon. Oh, I can also see the chat here. The things I learn. So we have 50 people in the chat. Hi, 50 people. So for those of you who tune in a little bit later, I'm just looking at some views of the moon, and I'm answering your question, and that's questions. And that's basically the setup of this live chat here. Do we have some other people? Thanks for hosting this live event, Nocturne Astro Nocturne. Yeah, no problem. I'm always happy to do these live events and talk to you guys. And just share some knowledge I have, but I also like to hear from you. If you have any kind of advice for me, just put it in the comment section. But this is the live chat, I have to say, and I'm always happy to engage in talking to you. Astro Rerum says, I imaged the ISS over the sun last week from The Hague. Oh, Astro Rerum, I envy you. Hope you got some nice pictures. Did you post it somewhere on Instagram or? And then we have Astro Carpets laughing my ass off. We have Celestron Astromaster 103 EQ Newtonian telescope. Is this a better telescope? Corey, a better telescope as compared to what telescope? I'm not familiar with the Astromaster 130 actually. Is this like a complete package you can buy? Corey, if you're going to continue on your astro journey, go with the computerized telescope. Yes, I would agree with that. And actually, there are so many different steps you can get into astrophotography. And I'm really hesitant to say you should do this or you should do that. So, for example, the way I started was just I bought some binoculars. And then my second step was that I bought a very cheap altitude azimuth mount. It was a computerized altitude azimuth mount with a cheap achromat refractor. So it's not fit for deep sky astrophotography or astrophotography in general whatsoever. But I still enjoyed that. So during the first couple of months, I was just looking through an eyepiece at the moon, some of the planets, some of the bigger targets in the night sky, and the Andromeda Galaxy, you can see it with your naked eye. The Orion Nebula, you can see it with your naked eye. And then at one point, I got interested in astrophotography, and then I decided to, okay, if I want to do deep sky astrophotography, obviously I need a mount that can track the stars, can track the paths of the stars, and then of course you get to buying an equatorial mount, a computerized equatorial mount, and then obviously there are a lot of different options you can choose from. I also have a video on that. I released it a couple of months ago where I think match up or I compare like 8 different beginner level mounts. There are so many nowadays, so that's really nice. You have a lot of options. But of course the COVID-19 situation is pretty terrible, so you would have to wait for a couple of months. I'm going to capture this actually. I like this picture. So let's take some frames here, 250 frames. Nocturne Astro says, in San Francisco, California, apparently springtime is a cloudy season. Yeah, if you're in California and I'm in the Netherlands, you're supposed to get like 1,000 hours extra of clear skies. So I would happily trade for you, although you have some clouds right now. Nocturne Astro then, if you're from the US. We have Radu. He's from Romania, I think, maybe. Have you tried an atmospheric... Oh no, I don't have an ADC. Supposedly it would improve the seeing. Yeah, I never used those ADCs, actually. But now that you mention it, I will look at it. Astro Master 130 EQ has a spherical mirror. Don't buy it. Okay. Nice to know. So you probably would have coma then, right? There are some coma correctors I think you can use probably, but I'm not very familiar with the Newtonian telescopes. I started with the apochromatic refractor actually just because it is very easy to store it in house. It doesn't take a lot of like room or space. I'm living here in the city center. This is my personal situation. I don't have a lot of space to store my astro equipment. I have a lot of my equipment. It's next to my bed, and it just drives my wife crazy because you cannot walk there anymore. You know, you have like the AVX mount, the EQ6R Pro, the tripod of the mount, and I have one of two like how do you call that? One of two closets, more or less, where I can store my stuff. And that's it. And also because I have an AVX and I have an EQ6R Pro, so theoretically I could put my apochromatic refractor on the AVX, and I could put the EQ6R Pro. I could image with the EQ6R Pro and put my Edge HD on there. So that would be awesome to have two rigs. I saw, of course, Chuck's astrophotography. Chuck does this all the time. He uses his RASA, and I think another telescope is the Explore Scientific 127, I think. That's awesome to see that he is able to do that. And whenever I'm moving to another house, not in the near future because the housing market is terrible right now, if I would get a larger garden, that's one of the first things I'm going to do. And I will host a live session on that. Just putting different rigs together and control them from a computer. Anyway, 62 people. Hello, people. You're just hanging out with me, and I'm having this unstructured live event, NGC 6543, and that's the cat's eye. Nebula says, "Good morning, weirdo." Hey, my name is Wido. Eh? Or perhaps I'm a bit weird because I'm of course Dutch. Good morning, and I know you're from Australia, right? So good day, something like that. Garnet Leary, Bert Jones has a corrective lens in the focuser. Not ideal for anything photographic. Okay, nice to know. Chinatown in San Francisco has some of the best Chinese foods outside of China. Good to know. Whenever I'm in San Francisco, I will check it out. Oh, I missed a lot of chats. We also have Sir Mouselot. A cat lover, probably. Astroshop, okay. Telescope service, a bit better. Mich wundert gar nichts mehr. I'm sure you still can wonder about some things, right? I think those are the two biggest shops. You're completely right. Yeah, Astroshop and Telescope Service. Ori Lavi from Israel. Hello there. Chuck's skill level is insane. Yes, that is true. He won, I think, 3 iPods. No, astronomy pictures of the day. iPods. iPod is something different. I'd say that's a nice upgrade. Astro carpet. And we have Scoop from Noord Brabant. Beautiful night. Yes, we have some clear skies in the Netherlands. Astro Biscuit is weird. Okay. You have to chat with Astro Biscuit about that. I like everything he makes. He's so skilled in just making videos, right? His editing skills are off the scale. So you can see that there's a lot of effort he puts into all of his videos, and I can really appreciate that. So I'm always checking whenever he has a new video. I will look at it. Always is a lot of fun. I think the last one was about the robot scope, right? What are your thoughts on halo-inducing filters? I actually never use halo-inducing filters. So what I use is actually a light pollution filter. Of course, I have some regular RGB and lume filters for broadband imaging with my black and white camera, with my mono camera, and I have some narrowband filters, HA, S2 and O3. And that's actually it. But I'm mainly engaging in deep sky imaging, so I am not the person I'm not familiar with everything you need to know about taking a good image of the moon. But actually, what I'm just doing, I usually take about like 1 or 2 minutes. Let's move actually a little bit to another place. I'm usually taking 1 or 2 minute videos, and then I process it using auto staggered, and I post-process it a little bit in Photoshop, and that's it. Those are my moon pictures. Probably will not get me an iPod, but I always like the stuff. I like these pictures. So at this point, maybe of course, this for me, this is at this point, this is a hobby for me. So I'm actually doing my job during the daytime, and whenever we have some clear skies, I engage in astrophotography. Let's see. Maybe this. I'm always looking for some nice framing, and most of the time when it's half moon, it's close to the edge of the half moon. You can see then the shadows dropping in the craters. I don't know, guys. Is this a nice picture? I don't know. I will take it. And start. The L Extreme Pro is renowned for halos, especially the faster the glass. I get halos using it on my f5.5 triplet. Alright, I didn't know that, Hogarth. Thank you for the info. And Astoforum disagrees. And I don't own the L Pro, so I will not get into this conversation. What cameras are you using for the moon? Asks Augusto. Well, I'm using different cameras for the moon actually. This is the Mono Pro, the 1600 Mono Pro. But actually this is more my deep sky setup I'm using at the moment. And you can also see it here, my frame rate per second is actually terrible. It's now 8 frames per second. So normally I would use my ASI 168, which has a lower pixel size. So I can zoom in more on those craters. Because right now, this is my full view here. Let me show you. So this is my full view of the moon right now. And I know with the 178 the pixel size is a lot lower, so you will be able to zoom in more on the moon and the craters. And the second thing is that it also has a higher frame rate per second. So those two things combined are very nice. So you can get really close-up image of the moon, and because your frame rate per second is so high, you end up with a lot of frames when you take 1 or 2 minute videos. And then of course you can select the top 10% or the top 25% best frames of that video, which when I'm using the 178 you have a lot more frames, so a lot more data to choose from, and you usually end up with a better quality picture. So Sir Mercelot says he's using the ASI 174. Yeah, I think that's also a good camera. I think the 174 has a wider field of view. Sorry guys, I'm hungry. Okay, Radu has a nice technique here. He says that there is a technique where you use 2 images in registacks, one with sharpening for the mares and the other one for the craters, and then blend them in Photoshop. That would be interesting to check out. Thank you, Radu. I know that AutoStacker also has this algorithm in, I don't know, Registacks. I used to use Registacks mostly for post-processing, but I know that AutoStacker also has the option to blend in raw frames with the entire stack to get to to sharpen the image a little bit more, and it usually produces some good results. So I will check that out, actually, that technique. But in general, I'm not really a lunar photographer, so I'm learning here. Also, corporates went with the ZWO LRGB. I also have those. Actually, you can buy a complete package. I think you get like 7 or 8 filters, like the broadband, luminance, RGB broadband filters, and the HA, S2 and O3 filters. Suburban Astronomer. Is there a tutorial? Yes, of course. And Radu is also, he should start a YouTube channel. feel free. There are a lot of I saw that there's an explosion of people posting astrophotography videos lately. I think it has something to do with the fact that most of us are still in lockdown. But Radu, if you want to share any kind of technique on blending these two images, please post it. Always nice to inform your fellow astrophotographers what they can do to improve their lunar images. So yeah, guys, what should we do? I'm back here at Montes Apennines. We could try to have some fun with deep sky astrophotography. I'm taking this one extra. Shall I just do the 1 minute video here? Astro carpets. You're falling asleep and you're just back from school. So either I am really boring or the school was exhausting for you. Radu, go for it. If you wanted, if you don't see any tutorials and you think you have something new to add to the community, I'll even refer to it. Who cares, Radu? Just put that camera on your face. You will be fine. Let's see. I found a good deal, John. Okay, John, that's good. Okay, so I guess I have enough for the moon. So what do you think, guys? Should I go for deep sky? But that would take a while, of course. What's actually in the night sky right now? Let's see. In the northern hemisphere, I have to add. So of course we have a lot of galaxies, right? Oh, there's actually Vesta is really close to the moon, but I did a time-lapse video on Vesta already. And actually Vesta is pretty small. So like it's about, 500 kilometers, so about 350 miles in diameter. So Vesta, when you image it, this asteroid in the asteroid belt, it's actually the second largest asteroid, but it will just appear as a tiny dot on your picture. But what is really nice is that, of course, because it is in the asteroid belt, it moves a little bit differently as compared to all of the stars that are, of course, far outside of our own solar system. So when you take like 30-second pictures of Vesta, and you do that for like 2 or 3 hours, you will notice that Vesta will move across your field of view. It's really nice to do. And you can also, of course, do that with comets. Guys, you're still here, 68 people. Well, I will keep going then. Jeroen says, Leo triplet. Okay. So anything else? Whale Galaxy, M63, M101. Go for a planetary nebula. Yeah, those are all good options. The Leo triplet is pretty close to the moon, so I guess we would have a suboptimal picture. Hamburger Galaxy. Let's go for the Hamburger Galaxy first. I'm hungry anyway. Okay. This might result in a complete failure, at which point I will end the live stream, but hope for the best. I think I also have to go upstairs to change a little bit my setup. Okay, we're leaving SharpCap, so bye SharpCap. Actually, I should renew the license. Anyway, that would be boring to show you. So far, so good, SharpCap. And we are connecting the ASI to... So I'm always using Sequence Generator Pro. I'm just happy with it, so that's why. And I have, of course, some plate solving help. Blah, blah, blah. Framing and Mosaic Wizard. So for those of you who don't know, the Framing and Mosaic Wizard is so useful. It will show me the exact RA and DEC coordinates of a galaxy I'm interested in, or any deep sky for that, target for that matter. So this is NGC 3628. Okay. NGC 3628. Hopefully it's in the database after all that talk about how handy it is. And actually I am on my laptop. I'm streaming on my laptop, but I have a second like mini PC, mobile mini PC in my shed, and of course it will take a long time now. Let's hope this works. Maybe cancel and fetch again. But anyway, I have a mini PC, and that mini PC is then connected to my EQs. Hey, there it is. To my, of course, my mount, and also my guide camera and my camera. But I didn't take a lot of time tonight to set it up. Oh, somebody's coming. One of my daughters, she has to go to the bathroom. So you can see here with the Edge HD and the 1400, like 1440 millimeter focal length, I can only catch the Hamburger Galaxy and not the Leo triplet. So that's the thing. I think an apochromatic refractor is very nice for wide field imaging. You can do some nice wide field imaging. You cannot do actually with the Edge HD, but you can get close to those galaxies with the Edge. Okay. Oh, success! Created one new target. I'm so excited. So we're leaving the moon. Actually, of course, this mini PC, it has a name. It has. I have called it Astoforum. That mini PC. That's obvious, right? What should we do? Now a light frame probably, and then we will use some. Shall I just shoot in light pollution filter? I think I didn't clean that filter. 60, maybe 30-second pictures. They should do it. Oh wait, I can maybe. Oh fuck. Oh sorry. Maybe I can also do it in SharpCap. So I could move. Now let's first start with Sequence Generator Pro, but maybe we can do a live like stacking stuff in SharpCap instead of Sequence Generator Pro. Anyway, let's run this. Oh yeah, I actually don't. Sorry, I don't have a rotator, so I always have to switch off the rotator function. Oh, it's still cooling. Yeah, and that's of course an issue. That if I reconnect my camera from SharpCap to Sequence Generator Pro, the camera needs to cool again. Actually, it's slewing. Okay. Hamburger Galaxy, here we come. Sorry guys, I missed a lot of your messages, obviously. I'm in the process of upgrading my mount. I saw a video on intermediate mounts. You tried the 740. No, I didn't. I tried the EQ6R Pro. What do you reckon? What do you reckon to the 760? If you have the money, maybe buy the more expensive mount. I think the 760 is if you want to it depends a little bit. Do you want a mobile mount versus do you want a mount that is really able to carry a heavy telescope and it has accurate tracking? And also it depends on your budget So there are very many factors to take into account when you're buying a mount. Do we have the Hamburger Galaxy? Oh, it's very faint. It's because of the moon. This is only a 10-second picture. Oh, it's now, of course, starting my auto guider. Oh, you can see how... oh, this is terrible. Auto guider failed, yeah. Yeah, you can see, actually, you can see here, this is PhD 2. And can you see? It's super hazy. Nah, I'm not very happy with that. This is because I showed you, like at 11 o'clock, we would have more clouds, and apparently they arrived. And the guiding is very strange. So actually it cannot focus right now then. And I think I should also clear my calibration data and do it all over again. Blah blah blah, a lot of stuff going on. Sorry for that. I will try it one more time for you because I like you. And apparently a person BS gave me $20 and you say thanks. Well, I guess I have to thank you, man. That's so great, and that is so generous of you. And I don't know where are you from, BS? And you also have a flag, BS. You have a nice icon over there. Thank you so much. I will always put it back. Everything you donate. Of course, this is going straight back into the money pit. That is astrophotography. And maybe to reveal something now that we are here. QHI CCD cameras. They sent me a 268 mono camera to try out. So that's great. And at the same time, I'm having some trouble finding the correct back focus, and I also shoot by bigger filters because with the 1.25 inch filters I cannot match them with the 268 mono camera of QHI CCD. Anyway, I will not bother you with this because what I want to do is first to find out how this camera works, how I can get the correct back focus, match it with a nice filter wheel, and when I am so far, when I have some experience and I can show you some pictures of the camera, I will definitely show you that camera and do a review. Chuck is in the house. Hello, Chuck. Welcome to my channel, man. Very happy to see you here. Yeah, of course everybody knows Chuck, right? He won like 3 A-pods, Chuck, and he has an awesome channel. A lot of live sessions, a lot of information on astrophotography, and check it out if you didn't already. Probably if you're on my channel, you know Chuck. And Chuck, you will now get a lot of questions in the chat, so then I can focus on trying to capture the Hamburger Galaxy here. We just moved from the moon, Chuck, to the Hamburger Galaxy. But you can see I have a lot of issues here because the sky is not great. We have clouds. So yeah. Yeah, you can already see it. So PhD 2 is now, of course, calibrating on a star. So that should take a while, and especially you can see it. I am getting a lot of hazy clouds, high hanging clouds here in the Netherlands. So yeah, maybe this is the end of the live astrophotography session. But anyway. Wido, check out Yannick's with the Lazy Geek review. Yes, I know. I've seen his videos, and hopefully I can learn from it. I really like Quiff. He's just this straight up guy, and he's just showing everything. Let's see. Okay, I'll check out the 70. Okay, Richard, I'm assuming you're referring to the scope, a 70mm scope. Chuck says, cool. Thanks, Chuck. Cool. Starfire Technology, ZWO, RGB are decent, but narrowband is so-so. Oh, Starfire Technology. Then I have been using so-so filters for the past 2 years to do my narrowband imaging. And actually, I'm pretty happy with it. But I completely agree that they are not the best filters you can buy. Obviously, you have the Astrodon filters, etc. They are much higher level, probably. The moon was so less than 10 minutes ago. We moved on. Yeah, we've moved on, but obviously we have some issues with high hanging clouds. Clouds back in Devon. Oh, I'm sorry about that. To hear that, Specs 357. And good day, Wido. And Chuck says Logan skies down under. He's from Australia, so I would say good morning to Logan. For the Sharp Star Fund. Yeah, Hobart, thank you very much. This is the only thing I'm still not, I didn't buy yet. So the Edge HD, I think it can be used as a multi-purpose scope. I will release a video hopefully this week where I said it before, but those of you who joined a little bit later, I'm just going to show you everything I captured with that telescope, the Edge HD 8-inch, over the past 6 months. And I'm just going to review that scope again because I have more experience with it now. And I think one of the good things about the Edge HD is indeed that you can use it as a multi-purpose scope. So you can, it is an f10 ratio telescope. So if you combine it with a Barlow lens, 2 times or 3 times, you can get a decent image of the planets. And obviously the moon, Chuck, you just missed it, but we get some nice images of the moon there. If you combine it with a 0.7 reducer, Celestron has a special 0.7 reducer for the Edge HD, you'll get to a focal length of 1400 millimeters, so that's a little bit more forgiving in terms of tracking accuracy. And what am I babbling about? And then, you also turn your telescope into an f7 ratio telescope. So that's also nice. So you can then use the Edge HD also for pretty decent deep sky images. I have some of these images on Instagram. I will show you those images also on the next video. And of course then, Hogarth. This is a very long-winded monologue I'm having here, but of course the one extra thing you can also do is to buy a Hyperstar, which turns your Edge HD telescope into an f2 ratio telescope, and I think it's very similar to the RASA actually. So yeah. And in the meanwhile I missed about 20 chat messages. Chuck, it's snowing in Detroit. Oh my god, this is really like you had some spring weather, right? First. Can you build a snowman again? Alright. Okay guys, I'm not going to read all of those messages. Okay, Radu says, in a few months Andromeda will be high enough to image comfortably. Wintertime, alright, yeah. I think when you just start out astrophotography, there are some main targets that you would definitely want to image. And of course, in the summertime, that would be the Andromeda Galaxy, although from the city, it is not really recommended. So you have to go to a dark spot actually to do some decent deep sky astrophotography on galaxies. And then in wintertime, you will have, of course, the Orion Nebula, one of the first targets you need to shoot when you just start out astrophotography. But unfortunately, Orion is already set. So we have this period we're in right now from, I would say, the beginning of April to mid-May, where we have something that is called galaxy season. And some of us dread it, and others of us really love it. And I think it depends a little bit on the whether or not you live in the city or not. So in order for you to take very good pictures of galaxies, you need to engage in broadband imaging. But if you live in a city like me with Bortle class 8 skies, you will also capture a lot of light pollution. So one of the things you can do is obviously use a light pollution filter, and you can also use what did I say? Yeah, you can also do some short exposure images, and then stack a lot of images together to get a decent end results. Some decent end results in terms of capturing galaxies. So the Salt70 says it snowed in Kansas too. Really odd weather, man. Okay. Yeah, we in Europe, where I live, actually in the Netherlands, we had snow up to the end of February actually, and then like 1 or 2 weeks later, the skies were clear and it was like 15 degrees Celsius, so that would be spring-like temperatures. Very strange indeed. And then I think a couple of weeks later we had some frost, freezing again at night. So I know that also the farmers are complaining a lot about, of course, there are some new like plants and flowers, and we are especially famous for our flowers in the Netherlands. And of course, when you have some decent spring nights, those flowers they start to grow. But when it's then freezing again, those flowers will die. So they have a lot of tricks here in my country to keep those flowers alive. Anyway, that's nothing to do with astrophotography. Yeah, the auto-guided field, guys. So unfortunately, the weather is not good at the moment. I could try and go back to the moon. Maybe we can have some moon views still. And if not, I will see you in another chat. Let's punch in the coordinates of the moon. So it's 8:44:09. Let's go back to the moon. 8:44:09, and the deck is 21:57:09. Sorry guys, too many clouds to do some deep sky astrophotography, unfortunately. So you're giving each other advice. That's very good to see. Yeah, Starfire Technology says that the first sub of HA I saw with my mono camera made my jaw drop. How much data was there? Yeah, I arrived at the moon, you can see it. Alright, you don't have to plate solve that one. It's obviously that we are here. So let's switch back to, yeah, this is not working. Obviously. To SharpCap. I will do a separate live session where I prepare for deep sky astrophotography. Here we go again. And yeah, HA, I also know the first time I took an H-alpha picture, I think it was Orion, like a 5-minute exposure of Orion. I was completely blown away. All of that, of course, Orion is one of the brightest objects in the night sky. And I was so amazed to see all of that that nebulosity surrounding the entire Orion Nebula. Yeah, it's so great to have a first H-alpha or narrowband picture. especially when you live in the city and you're used to broadband pictures that are a little bit light polluted. It's great. So guys, we're back at the moon, unfortunately. And we're talking about triplets. Yeah, HANGOUT. I know that HANGOUT says to me you should set up the telescope control in Stellarium and press Control 1. And that is true, I can use Control 1 in Stellarium. But for some reason, there are two things. So the first thing is that if I press Control 1 on my laptop, which is remotely connected to my mini PC, for some reason it doesn't work. So when I'm directly controlling my telescope mount from a laptop and I press Control 1, it works. And the second thing is that Stellarium, it is pretty accurate, but not completely accurate. So sometimes it misses a little bit the mark. And I noticed that plate solving in Sequence Generator Pro is always super accurate. Okay, Richard, thanks for the live stream. I watch you and Chuck. It's great to see your stuff live. Yeah, thanks for the compliment, Richard. Happy to do it. I love my 150 EDT. Nocturne Astro is saying that, and of course, yeah, 115. That's a pretty big aperture for a refractor telescope. Just ran it without reducer this weekend, and the flattener was awesome. Yeah, if you have an apochromatic triplet refractor, you want to use a reducer most of the time to get those flat field images and round stars all the way to the edge of your picture. Yeah. Am I the only one who's really happy to be back at the moon? A lunophile? No. Radu, especially when we have suboptimal skies, it's still very nice to see the moon. Actually, we can move a little bit. So I can actually, oh yeah, I want to plate solve these images. So what kind of craters are we looking at here? Let's see. Can I actually see that in my atlas? 3. I think it's this one. So this is Ptolemaios crater, if I'm correct. Ptolemaios, Alphonsus, and Arzachel. Okay. Ptolemaios crater. We can check out how big it is. Ptolemaios. Yep, it's there, I think. Yeah, but crater. Not the Greek philosopher or the Greek scientist. Alright, so this is a 154 diameter crater here. This one. Does it have any additional information? Ptolemaios is joined to the rim of the crater Alphonsus by a section of rocked irregular terrain. I know that when people post like stuff on Instagram, they sometimes just copy the the Wikipedia sentences of the picture, which is fine, of course. But people will notice. The feature of Ptolemaios are highlighted when the sun is at low angles during the first and the last quarter. Can we actually see some shadows? It's difficult to see, right? Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more. So this is 154 kilometers here. I don't think we can see shadows, right? Oops. Always difficult. You have to figure out where north and south goes. Okay, when we put it in the middle, let's put a target. Yeah, okay, it's pretty well centered. Maybe we can go a little bit closer, 640 by 480. But then we have to do the zoom to 100. It doesn't go. Maybe I should go for 400. Ooh. This is what they call empty magnification, right? So here we have it, Ptolemaious crater at low resolution. You can see a little bit of shadows, right? Like here on the left hand side, Ptolemaious crater, and here again. Now you have to look really well. I don't know if you can see it in on YouTube. Anyway, I'm hoping you're having a good time in the meanwhile. Still 65 people. That's nice. Let's see. I will image this crater. Yeah. I don't want to get this really zoomed in image. This is enough, I think. What do you think? Is this a nice framing? Maybe go a little bit, put it in the center. And start capturing. All right. You're talking about a 150 EDL triplet apochromatic refractor. Is it worth the extra money over the doublet? Yeah, that's always a question, huh? I would say a doublet. How accurate do you want your images to be? So if you buy a doublet refractor, you can take some pretty decent pictures of the night sky. And usually in a doublet refractor you have like the green part, the green part of the light spectrum. It doesn't focus exactly. I'm seeing something in front of the moon, I'm sorry. I guess these are clouds. But yeah, you can, there is a little bit of difference in the focus of your green as compared to your red and your blue in a doublet refractor. But then at the same time, in space, most of the pictures you're going to take, they include, I would say maybe with the exception of galaxies, a lot of nebulas out there in deep sky, in space, doing deep sky astrophotography. They are mainly emitting light in the red and the blue part of the light spectrum. So then a doublet refractor would also be fine to image those, actually. Jim's Astro said Astro Quest 1 gives a good review on the 115 ED. So I don't own the 115 ED, so check out his channel as well. And his name is Kurt, if I'm correct. Really nice guy. So yeah. I think I am kind of done here with the moon. Maybe one extra target. So guys, if you want to have some talk about something, please say it now or be silent for this evening. Yeah, this is Montes Apenninus, or I already did that, right? What is the crater here all the way to the top? I'm going to check that out. That crater is, of course, I should know this, Plato crater. Pretty cool. Plato crater. Yep, that's the one. Plato is a lava-filled lunar impact crater on the moon. Its diameter is 101 kilometers. It was named after an ancient Greek philosopher, Plato. Yeah, we know that, all right. Northeast of Mare Imbrium. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Nah, it's not really sharp right now. Let me zoom in a bit more. Nah, I think I have to refocus, actually. Maybe if you have a wider field. Let's get back to 100%. Maybe I can get away with a decent picture like this. Let's do a final 1 minute capture here. Where is your location? OctaKD asks me. Are you asking me or are you asking somebody else? I'm imaging from the Netherlands, OctaKD. So the Netherlands, Europe, in Western Europe. Is there a certain time of the year you don't image because of no dark skies? I would say in Norway, from April onwards, they don't have a night sky. Actually, I'm imaging all year long in the Netherlands. I'm at 52 degrees latitude. And actually, we have some pretty short nights in the summer. So that's pretty challenging. But at the same time, there are some really nice, like the Andromeda Galaxy, for instance. There are some really nice targets you can image during summertime. And of course, in summertime also, if you want to do some wide field astroscaping, that is perfect in the northern hemisphere because the Milky Way will be like in the south during the evening, and it's so pretty to see those wide field images of the Milky Way. You have a lot of nebulosity there, like the Lagoon Nebula, if I'm correct. I really have to think about the names, but yeah, you can really do some great wide field astrophotography in the summertime. Just take some pictures of the Milky Way. And of course Andromeda Galaxy, but that's a little bit after, like June, July. Oh yeah, the other thing you can do in summertime, at least I think it's still summer, is that to take some planetary images, because Jupiter and Saturn, I think they are in opposition during, I think it might be July or early August this year. So that is also nice to do some some planetary imaging in the summertime. So Mark, is it cloudy from Barcelona? I'm now losing my mind. So apparently we have kind of clear skies in the Netherlands, although you can see that it's not so clear anymore. So I guess I have to be happy that at least we have some views of the night sky. They're not perfect, but I heard that in San Francisco and now also in Barcelona in Spain, you have some cloudy nights. So hopefully you have some clear nights soon, right? So astro nerds, my fellow astro nerds, I'm going to leave you. thank you so much for joining this incoherent live session. Always happy to talk to you, and I also think it is awesome to see that you are informing each other, because after all, this channel is named Astoforum, and one of my main goals is also to get in touch with you guys and you get in touch with each other, so that we can all learn from one another. And I'm still thinking about new formats maybe to amplify this. So I don't know, maybe like there was one person who wanted to do a YouTube video on some lunar imaging techniques. Maybe I should also get into that, just inviting people on the channel and talk to them about astrophotography. That would be interesting, or maybe talk to you guys directly. So if you have any kind of ideas on how to facilitate that, please let me know. Anyhow, okay, a lot of people say thank you and ciao. Thank you so much everyone for joining. I really have a good time, and yeah, it depends a little bit on when the skies are clear again. If they are, I will of course do an extra live session. Sorry, things didn't work out with the deep sky. I think there is something wrong with my PhD 2 settings or something, and we had some pretty nasty clouds. So hopefully next time I can also show you some deep sky astrophotography again. So clear skies everybody, and stay safe. Hopefully everybody will get his or her injection, and we can finally rid ourselves of this nasty COVID virus. So until then, stay safe and enjoy astrophotography. I wish you clear nights and have a good night. Bye bye.